Welcome to Chapter 1, Food Choice and Human Health. 6 Classes of Nutrients, Part 2, by Professor Tammy. Learning Objectives. 1. Name the 6 classes of nutrients. 2. Give examples of the challenges and solutions to choosing a health-promoting diet. 3. Describe the science of nutrition. Carbohydrates. Sometimes you might see someone writing CHO for short instead of writing the whole word carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are the primary source of fuel for the body, especially for the brain. It provides 4 kilocalories per gram, like we just calculated before. Carbohydrates contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Ooh, that's where the CHO come from. Haha. Carbohydrates are also found in grains, vegetables, fruits, legumes, dairy, nuts, and seeds. So there's also simple carbohydrates versus complex carbohydrate. So when you think of whole grains, that's more complex carbohydrate. Leafy vegetables, fruits, those are complex carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates are more like, white bread, non-whole grain pasta, candy, cakes, cookies, soda. Fats. Fats are composed of lipids, molecules that are insoluble in water. So if you mix water and oil, they kind of separate because they don't go well together. Fats provide 9 calories per gram. They contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, which is not the same amount as carbohydrate. It's different. But you can always think of carbohydrate as CHO, and fat still contains these too. Fats are also found in butter, margarine, vegetable oils such as canola oil, olive oil, sunflower oil, and more. Fats are an important source of fuel for our bodies during times of rest or low-intensity exercise. Our bodies can store fat which can be used for energy while we are not eating. Like when we're resting, sleeping, our fat is being used. Sources of fat-soluble vitamins and essential fatty acid as well. So, in case you like to know, which is very interesting, the brain's primary source of energy is carbohydrate. So if you run out of carbohydrate, the second source of energy is fat. So think of your body trying to survive. It will think of something to survive too. So here you see this little diagram, fat cell development. During periods of growth in late childhood and early puberty, fat cells increase. During periods of excessive intake of fat, cell size increases. So when fat cells have reached the maximum size, they cannot grow anymore. So they create more fat cells. So let's just say, whoa, you have a lot of fat cells, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm going to go on a diet. I'm like, how come I can't get as thin as I used to? Because maybe your body produces more fat cells, but you can't get rid of those fat cells. They can shrink, but they don't just disappear. Proteins. Proteins are chains of amino acids. There are 20 amino acids, 9 essential and 11 non-essential. Essential means we need to consume it for our body. 11 non-essential, that means we don't need to consume it because our body makes it. Proteins can supply 4 calories of energy per gram, but are not usually a primary energy source. Proteins contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Ooh, that sounds familiar, just like carbohydrate and fat. But guess what? They also have nitrogen. Protein sources include meats, dairy products, seeds, nuts, and legumes. These are some of the foods that are high in protein: meat and fish, cheese, eggs, beans, bread, hummus, nuts, and seeds. Just to let you know, bacon is part of the meat family, even though it has a lot of fat. And just to let you know, it is not an alternative meat or meat alternative. Eggs are not dairy. It is protein. These are some of the past mistakes that students have made, so I'm telling you now. Hopefully you don't make them. Proteins are important for building cells and tissues, maintaining bones, repairing damaged tissues, regulating metabolism and fluid balance. Vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals are known as micronutrients because you need less of them. If you read the Harvard University list of vitamins and minerals, it's a great study tool, especially when you reach the vitamins and minerals section. It will really help you understand because the list is there and you can go beyond that too. Especially when you're reading, you have the whole list there instead of having on your notes all over the place too. It's a good organizational chart that they made. Micronutrients, nutrients needed in relatively small amounts to support normal health and body functions. Neither vitamins nor minerals provide kilocalories. They provide no energy to the body. Just note, micronutrients do not provide energy to the body. Macronutrients do. Micronutrients, some are essential. They assist in all body processes such as digesting foods, moving muscles, disposing of waste, growing new tissues, healing wounds, obtaining energy for carbohydrate, fat, and protein, participating in every process to maintain life. Vitamins. Vitamins are organic molecules that assist in regulating body processes. Do you remember what makes them organic? Remember, carbohydrate, fat/lipids, proteins, and vitamins are organic. What makes them organic? What is the atom that caused them to be organic? What do they have that makes them organic? Can you see it? Carbon, the letter C, carbon. Carbon is, they all have carbon, which makes them organic molecules. Vitamins are classified by the way they are absorbed, transported, and stored in the body. So let's take a look at the fat-soluble vitamins and the water-soluble vitamins. Fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. Water-soluble vitamins are the C and the B vitamins. Fat-soluble vitamins are soluble in fat. They're stored in the human body. They can be stored in the human body for days, weeks, months, depending how much you have consumed. Toxicity can also occur from consuming excess amount, like a lot of fat-soluble vitamins, which can accumulate in the body. So an example is vitamin A. You love carrots, orange, yellow carrots, they have a lot of beta carotene. Purple carrots have half the beta carotenes as orange and yellow carrots have. And you just have to have a lot each day. And all of a sudden, you start turning orange. You're like, what just happened to me? And then, but it's not toxic that you're turning orange. It's just like, it's stored where your fat is. So if you stop eating those carrots, you'll slowly change back to your color once the vitamin is depleted. Water-soluble vitamins. They're soluble in water. They're not stored at any extent in the human body. They're usually stored in the human body between 1 to 3 days. That's why you need to make sure you continue having water-soluble vitamins. And they're usually excreted through the urine. Toxicity generally only occurs because of vitamin supplementation. Let's just say that you are taking complex vitamin B, vitamin C, multivitamin, vitamin B12, vitamin B6, vitamin B3, vitamin B1 and 2. Is that a little too much vitamins? Yes. So you don't really need to take so much. A lot of times people try to sell others like, oh, this is all the vitamins you are and you'll be more healthy. Minerals. Minerals are inorganic substances required for body processes. So what don't they have again? Do you see what I mean? Carbon. They don't have carbon. Good job. Minerals include sodium, calcium, iron, potassium, and magnesium. Minerals have many different functions such as fluid regulation and energy production. They are essential to bones and blood and help eliminate harmful byproducts of metabolism. So you have to look at major minerals and trace minerals. Don't call it major and minor. This is not baseball, okay? So major and trace. Major minerals are these above. They're needed in amounts greater than 100 milligrams a day in our diet. Amount is present in the human body is greater than 5 grams, so 5,000 milligrams. And these are trace minerals. You just need a little bit of it. You need less than 100 milligrams a day in our diet, and which is the amount present in the human body is less than 5 grams, less than 5,000 milligrams. Water. Water supports all body functions. Water is an organic nutrient that is vital for health and survival. Water is involved in many bodily processes: fluid balance, nutrient transport, nerve impulses, removal of wastes, muscle contractions, body temperature, loss through sweat, breath, and urine. So when you sweat, you're breathing, and when you pee, you lose water. Cells need to function with sufficient water. You don't want them to dry up. Your cells are composed of 70 through 95% water. Woo! They're quite watery. Humans are about 60% water weight, so that's about between 50 through 70. It depends how you're built. If you have more muscles, muscles carry water. If you have more fat, fat doesn't carry water. So really, it depends how your body shape, but this is just the average too. And some people sweat more than others too. How much water do we need to drink per day? A lot of people say 8 glasses, but is 8 glasses too much for a little child too? And are you drinking soup? Are you drinking soda? You know, what are the other liquids you're having? Fruits? Remember we mentioned fruits have a lot of water in there too. Is there a calculation how much water we should drink each day? So there's a general rule. How many pounds you are divided by 2 equals the ounces of water. So of course, this depends on the body composition of how much fat and muscles you have. So let's do a little calculation too. So let's pretend you are 150 pounds and you divide by 2. That's about 75 pounds, right? And then that's the amount of ounces you, more or less, you should have of water per day. But it's not just pure water. It also is an estimate of fruits. Fruits are very watery. Soup, other liquids that you might consume as well too. It also depends on the weather. Is it dry? Is it humid? Is it hot? You know, these all depends. Like when it's really hot, you need to drink more than 75 ounces of water. You might need to drink probably a third to a half more too. So it all depends on where you are and what's happening, or if you are playing sports too. See you soon, and remember to read the book.